Good day, y'all. Yes, today we're on a little bit of a field trip outside of my regular filming room, and I'm out in the kitchen today just because I just needed something a little different. I don't really want to sit in that room for hours, if I'm being completely honest. But what if I actually cut it this short? I'm so tempted, you guys. It's not even funny. Yes, my posting has not been super consistent recently. If I'm being honest, I'm not doing super well. But I figured the perfect way to cheer myself up, like always, is to smell stuff. So I'm actually smelling 3 different Middle Eastern fragrances and their alleged inspirations. And I think a lot of people have smelled these, but I have not, okay? I'm way behind the hype train on these ones. Stop talking, start smelling. Okay, so the first one I want to smell, this Black Opium dupe. So this is Opera Noir. Now this is one of Maison Alhambra's dupes. Now these that I have today are just decants. So I'm not offering these on my decant shop, at least not yet. Oh, I didn't even say what the notes are. What am I doing? So in Opera Noir, you've got pear, you've got pink pepper, and orange blossom. In the heart, you've got coffee, jasmine, bitter almond, and licorice. Does Black Opium have licorice? And in the base, you've got vanilla, patchouli, cashmere wood, and cedar. Oh my God, Black Opium does have licorice. That's so crazy. I don't know why I never noticed that. Yeah, so in Black Opium, you've got the same top notes. You've got a little bit of fruit, pink pepper, orange blossom. The heart notes seem to be exactly the same, and in the base, exactly the same again. So this is claiming to have the exact same notes, but does that mean it'll smell the same? It doesn't always mean that, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, that smells really similar, you guys. That's kind of crazy. Okay, just for good measure, I'm gonna spray the original Black Opium, and let's get a difference here. I wanna see if I can pick out differences. That's what I love doing. Okay, so a little smoother. The original Black Opium is a little bit heavier on the vanilla. It's a little creamier. You get a stronger coffee note. I feel like the pink pepper is probably a little bit stronger in the Maison Alhambra version. And I don't know, the coffee does get a bit lost in the pink pepper. I think the top notes are still very strong. Whereas right away when I spray Black Opium, I immediately get that creamy coffee note. Ooh, as it dries down, something weird is happening. This is Maison Alhambra. I think I switched them. Sorry, that was confusing. Yeah, when I smell them side by side, something really odd is happening. I'm getting that creaminess of the coffee and Black Opium, but as it dries down, okay, that orange blossom is starting to show itself. That orange blossom, the jasmine, the florals are blooming. In Opera Noir, it's more bitter. It's actually more bitter. I feel like that bitter almond note is a lot stronger. And as it's drying down, I hate that I'm saying this, but there is like a faint ammonia-esque scent. I don't want to say cat pee, but you know what I mean when it's like in that realm. I don't know what could be causing that. And again, I'm smelling them side by side. These are probably differences that you wouldn't notice otherwise. I mean, initial spray, I thought Opera Noir smelled amazing. But then I go and smell Black Opium and I go, oh yes, there's that creamy coffee that everyone knows and loves. It's not exactly, but it's pretty close. I would say the original is creamier, more milky, creamy, smooth coffee. That coffee note is definitely more pronounced. Maison Alhambra's version is still pretty good, but I feel like that it's more bitter. That pink pepper is stronger, especially on the initial spray. Maybe actually not as strong, actually. I feel like my Black Opium, now granted this is what the juice of my Black Opium looks like. It's actually pretty dark. And my Opera Noir, you can see there, it's quite light. Now when vanilla ages, something I've noticed, and you may notice as well, is that the juice darkens. So this Black Opium, I don't know how old this one is, but the vanilla is really, really well developed and it's really creamy and good. Maybe this Opera Noir, maybe it just needs some time. It is a decant. Who knows? Maybe in a few months that vanilla and that creaminess will really blossom like it has in Black Opium. Still very, very good. These are just subtle differences that I'm picking up. Really excited to wear these two and fully compare them. Obviously at the end of the month I'll probably include them in my end of the month video. I'll try my best to wear each of them to give my full thoughts. And of course, if you guys have these, if you have Opera Noir and you enjoy it, definitely let me know what you think. Okay, so the next one that I have is Maison Alhambra's Reyna. Now, this is famously an inspiration off of Parfums de Marly's Oriana. I mean, even the bottle, hello, what are we doing here? Now, I have a decant of Oriana. It is like very well developed and colored. You can see how dark this juice is. And this is what my Reyna juice looks like. I feel like I should show you guys what the juice looks like if I can, because it might be a good marker of how much it's matured. So in Reyna, of course, you've got lots of citruses. In the top, you've got orange, bergamot, grapefruit. In the middle, you've got blackcurrant, orange blossom, raspberry, and in the base, you've got whipped cream, marshmallow, musk, ambrette. Now, Oriana has the same exact notes. So yet again, Maison Alhambra is claiming to have the exact same notes. Obviously, that doesn't necessarily mean it will smell the same. All right, let's smell. I'm going to smell Reyna first. Should I smell the dupe first or the original first? Do you guys have a preference? I feel like maybe my reaction changes depending on which one I smell first, perhaps. I don't know. Okay, already, I haven't smelled Oriana in a while, but already I can tell that that raspberry in there, it's not, either it's more forward, it's not as nice of a raspberry note. So it's very fruity. It's not as creamy, although it is drying down. I'm giving it time to dry. You've got that candy-like sweetness from that blackcurrant. Blackcurrant creates like a very light, delicate candy sweetness. I kind of liken it to Pop Rocks often. That's kind of what it reminds me of when it's in a fragrance. I'm not gonna lie, Reyna is kind of, unfortunately, that raspberry note in there, it's for me, it's almost giving laundry softener kind of smell. I feel like as it dries down, it's getting better. Okay, I'm gonna spray Oriana really quickly so I can compare. It's just, it's mellower. I would say Oriana doesn't have that sharp fruit note. It's just more mellow. It's probably better blended. I'm not getting like a harsh synthetic fruit off the initial spray like I do with Reyna. Yeah, I don't know if it's the raspberry. It might not be the raspberry. It's something about the citrus fruit. It's just a bit more pungent. It's not as smooth, where I'm not getting that pungent citrus in Oriana. I feel like as far as a dupe goes, these aren't nearly as similar as something like even Opera Noir is to Black Opium. I feel like unfortunately this has fallen victim to what can happen with a lot of these cheaper Middle Eastern dupes when they include a lot of citrus. The citrus can come across really harsh and pungent and almost like a cleaning product, which is not what you want. Obviously this is just the initial spray. Wearing it on the skin, you're not going to smell it this closely. I'm sure the waft that it gives is very beautiful. Obviously, I can't test that at the moment, but just off first impression, it is a very harsh citrus compared to the original. It's still very, very sweet, but that citrus is just a lot stronger. Whereas Oriana, I feel like it's a lot better blended. It's more mellow. It's more unassuming. I mean, you're comparing $40 to $400. You know what I mean? Australian, of course. Okay, you know what? Maybe not my cup of tea. I have to confess that Oriana is not even my cup of tea. I don't know, one that I'll have to test further to give you my full thoughts, but initial thoughts, not super impressed with that one, sadly. I think just the fruit in there is a bit too pungent and harsh off the initial spray for me. Okay, so next we have Rawaa by Al Haramain. This is allegedly a dupe of Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. Now, in the original Good Girl, you've got coffee, almond in the top. You've got lots of white florals. You've got tuberose, jasmine, orange blossom. You've even got some rose in there. And in the base, you've got heaps of notes. You've got tonka bean, cacao, vanilla, praline, lots of sweetening, mildly spicy. You've got cacao and tonka, cinnamon, patchouli. You've got some cashmere wood. You've got some woods in there as well. So with Rawaa boasts a much simpler scent profile. You've got almond and coffee in the top. In the middle, you've got jasmine, tuberose, and orris. And in the base, you've got cacao, vanilla, tonka bean, sandalwood. So claiming to be much simpler note profile, but I think it's hitting on all the main ones that we probably pick up in Good Girl. Okay, first, I'm gonna smell the dupe first. I'm just gonna keep it going this way. I think this is a pretty good way of doing it. Oh, there's kind of like a fruitiness at the top. That's so interesting. Are these notes correct? It must be the tuberose that I'm getting, but it's a very juicy tuberose, a very sweet, I wouldn't say bubblegummy. It's almost like fruity, not picking up a lot of coffee, maybe a little bit of that almond at the top, but this is a really heavy white floral fragrance. You've got a very fruity tuberose. The jasmine is even behind that. It almost smells like there's apple or something in here. Now, the original does have lemon in the top. Let's smell the original. Gosh, it's been ages since I've smelled Good Girl. Yeah, so Good Girl, you've got that lemon in there off the top. It's not nearly as fruity sweet. I pick up the tuberose, I pick up the jasmine more heavily on initial spray in Good Girl, where it almost smells like there's something like apple or something in Rawaa. There's got to be a fruit that's not listed on there. But you've definitely got a brighter, crisper white floral experience in Good Girl, whereas Rawaa's sweeter, fruitier, maybe a bit denser, a little heavier perhaps. I don't really pick up a lot of coffee in either of them, to be honest, so take that for what you will. I might be all coffeeed out from Black Opium potentially. Actually, I feel like some of the base notes are a little bit more prominent in Good Girl. Some of the woods, I'm picking up more of the woods. Yeah, I feel like Good Girl is... God, Good Girl's actually a very good fragrance. That jasmine's more standout. The white florals that aren't tuberose more stand out to me in Good Girl. To be honest, I almost can't even smell Rawaa anymore. I just smell Good Girl. That's really strong for me at the moment. I feel like the rose is more forward. I feel like Rawaa is just a more tuberosy experience. Okay, so I mean, from what I can smell, Rawaa doesn't seem to be, again, not a one-to-one, especially off initial spray. Dried down could be a different story, although it just does seem overall a bit sweeter and denser, where Good Girl is a bit crisper, lighter, more of the florals come through more equally. Either way, I'm very excited to test these before the end of the month, if I can squeeze them in. I feel like I've been trying to test so many before my end of the month video. A little bit more of a shorter video. Let me know if you enjoyed the change of scenery. I definitely do. I just felt like I needed something a little different today. Don't forget to follow my decant shop on Etsy. I think when this video goes up, I will add some more fragrances. So if you have not yet checked out my decant shop, I will leave a link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and you will see me in the next one.